Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of Mythic Banter. I've been offline for a whole week because my brain was about to explode, but we're back. We got some news to talk about. How are you doing, Accolonn?
Hey, bro. I am very good. Thank you so much for asking, sir. And yeah, welcome back to all of our viewers as well for being here, for hanging out. We're, as always, very happy to have you here. And we have a very full show. So what did you do during this off week of yours?
Remember how they were just sprues last week? Look, they're all assembled, they're all primed, they're all like ready to paint.
So you literally spent the entire week just
No. I wish that was it, because I would have been much more ahead. No, I also had like a bunch of chores that I had to get done, and whenever you have kids, even when they're in school, there's no resting, there's no nothing. So it's like most of the time was actually spent doing nothing. I think I rewatched almost all of the Fast and Furious movies. I don't even know why.
Oh, wow.
I just started watching the first one,
too.
and then I just kept going.
I did it too, like a few months ago. I just started watching Fast and Furious, and I was like, oh, okay.
It's good background stuff to just keep watching. The problem that I ran into is that Netflix doesn't have Fast and Furious 9. And I was like, well, I can't watch 10 without watching 9. That'd be stupid. Like, what the fuck, Netflix? You're so worthless. You're a terrible service. Not to mention, I might as well bring this up. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with Netflix. The only reason I don't cancel my subscription is because my kids, they watch cartoons on there, because it's fucking safer than YouTube nowadays, because I don't want my kids running all of a sudden into friggin' Elsa Gate, which is stuff that is, you know, and people will probably be aware of what Elsa Gate is. And if you're not, then good on you, sweet summer child. I feel so good for you. Just don't even look up what Elsa Gate is, because it's fucked up. But
well, if you're a parent, you might want to look up what Elsa Gate is.
If you're a parent, you might want to look that up. Yeah, so that your kids don't watch that shit, because it's fucked up. But yeah, so that's the reason why I still haven't canceled Netflix, because I would totally have canceled Netflix over what happened. The shit is not in 4K. Like, none of the Fast and Furious movies were in 4K, and it's like, I'm paying for the 4K plan because I have a bunch of people from my family mooching off of my plan, and that also is the thing that grants you additional accounts and stuff. And it is fucking miserable, bro. I was watching pixels the size of my thumb, and I'm like, okay, so listen, for the first one, I'm going to take that one in the chin. Hell, even for the second one, I'll take that in the chin, because those are old movies at this point. I know it's weird to say. Those are old movies at this point. But like, brother, from Tokyo Drift onwards, you're going to tell me you still don't have 4K? Get the fuck out of here. You're full of shit. I was watching like... I was watching... Come on. How am I going to watch The Rock with his kilt thing in... What was this? Furious 8 or something? Or was it Hobbs and Shaw? It was Hobbs and Shaw, I think. How am I going to watch The Rock in Hobbs and Shaw with his kilt thing? And it's only at 1080p.
I quit after Tokyo Drift. My rewatching went to Tokyo Drift, and I was like, all right, that's enough.
That's about... No. I needed to keep going, because it's good background noise while I was like painting the minis and stuff.
The only good thing about Fast and Furious is the chick, dude, in 1.
Which one?
Like, she's hot as hell. The girl that Walker ends up with, like, she's hot as hell. The rest of the movie is,
but she's
such bad acting.
She's
like,
on all of the other
movies. Acting is horrible.
Yeah, the acting in the first one's pretty bad.
I mean, it was cringe as hell. She was like the only good thing in that movie. The second one was better. I think the second one, it was a little bit more extravagant, a little less focus on like what's actually good, so a lot more unbelievable. And by Tokyo Drift, it is so unbelievable, the crap that they do. That you're just sitting there.
You think by Tokyo Drift it's unbelievable, bro? You didn't even watch the other ones.
No, I'm sure.
Where they're dragging the safe through the streets of Brazil. It's fantastic. Dominic Toretto destroying cars with a giant safe that he's using like a fucking flail on the back of his head. He just like swerves, just like takes out all the cars. It's great, bro. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't get into it. I started watching, this was 2 days ago. I started watching Alien, the Alien franchise.
Oh, okay.
All of the Alien movies from Alien 1. Alien 1 is bad, dude. Like, holy crap. The graphics are bad in that one.
The graphics?
But you can see... Yeah, well,
you mean the special effects? The graphics?
Well, it's graphics. It is graphics, isn't it?
I mean...
It's graphics. You watch it.
I guess.
You know, so it is graphics.
It is visual.
But you can see the mechanical nature of it. Like, you can see this is just a mechanical thing that's moving. And then you watch the fight at the end of the second one, where she's got this giant robot suit thing that she's wearing, and she's fighting the and you just go, this alien is a moron. Like, she's so slow. Like, everything's moving so slow, and the alien gets hit by it, and you're just like, people were really satisfied with very little back then. Like, they were like, oh wow,
I mean,
this is great.
The standards obviously change, just like something that was like, for instance, I would imagine when Ocarina of Time came out, man, visually this is like the best shit we've ever seen. And you look at Ocarina of Time today, and it's like, yeah, the art style still looks good, but it's not impressive. And there's a ton of games like that, right? So yeah,
no, I mean, it is fair. It's just, it's interesting to me how perception alters the past, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember watching Alien when I was much younger, and I thought those monsters really look scary. It looks real, you know? It looks really good. And now you watch it and you go,
I mean, it's not as scary
I
anymore.
can see this isn't real. Yeah,
because
but
back then, it was like the best that we've had. You know, there was a time that you didn't even have movies. All you had was theater.
Yeah.
And that was impressive.
But But the thing is, it's like your brain adapts to it, right? So for your brain, it sort of fills in the blanks almost, and it makes it real.
I mean,
whereas now...
That's what we call suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, but now you watch something like Prometheus and you see the level of the graphics or the special effects there, right? And it is a million times better. And now you can't really go back to those old movies because it's just...
See, I disagree, because to me, for instance, right, if you think of it like Star Wars, you can use Star Wars as an example. So you have the original Star Wars with the original trilogy with the original special effects and all that stuff, and then you have the prequel trilogy, which the special effects were way better, and there was so much more digital stuff and all of this. And I still think that the older ones look way better, because I think that practical special effects often trump the CGI stuff, personally. But it's a taste thing.
I wouldn't say it looks better than the first three. I would say that it is better because everything else around it is so much better, right? And so the special effects in it is almost... It's like everything else in the movies, the storylines, the acting, everything else sort of lifts the special effects, in my opinion, at least. Whereas if we're just talking frame by frame, comparing one to the other, I would still say, like, the first three looks incredible.
You mean the original trilogy?
Yeah. Well, the first three, as in the last three to come out, right? So 1, 2, and 3 of the movies, episode 1, 2, and 3.
You think those look better than the original trilogy?
Special effects to special effects, yes. Everything else, hell no.
No, I think everything looks better in the first ones.
I don't know if I can agree with that, because there were moments in 4, 5, and 6 where I was looking at it going, oh, that's bad. That
dude,
you're like, see that's a toy.
You're like my wife. You know, the first time that we saw which of the Lord of the Rings movies is the one where Gandalf calls Shadowfax? That's the second one, right? Two Towers?
Twin Towers.
No, Two Towers, not Twin Towers.
No,
that's a different movie.
Yeah, well, so yeah, you should watch the Tucker Carlson thing on the Twin Towers. That's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to remember.
I'm pretty
now.
sure
It
it's Two
might be
Towers.
Two
But anyways,
Towers.
in that scene where Gandalf is calling Shadowfax and he's whistling, Gandalf is wearing sneakers. Okay.
Wait, what?
I never noticed it my wife noticed it in the cinema cut, bro. We were watching it at the cinema and she's like, "Oh, you didn't see it. He was wearing sneakers." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about, woman?" Yeah, he was wearing sneakers. He wasn't wearing boots.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It's definitely not Return of the King.
No. It's
So
Two
it won't be
Towers.
the third one.
Like let me send
Two
you a
Towers,
picture of it. Gandalf in sneakers. Like
but they had other. There were like a number of mistakes in the movies. Wasn't there at one point like a movie or a series
like look
that's
at this.
not even supposed to have it, and someone had like a can of Monster or Red Bull or something just there on the
God
table?
Damn it. Wrong copy paste.
Yeah,
Give
you're
me a
linking
second.
the wrong stuff again, man.
Yeah. I'm trying to copy the image. It's just copy pasting between two computers has been kind of like flaky lately, which is annoying. That's Microsoft shitting the bed as usual. Oh my god, this file exceeds the file size limit. Jesus, Discord, it's such a low resolution image, bro. What the hell? So stupid. Oh my god, I can't show you
Google
Gandalf
it.
in sneakers. There it is. Gandalf in sneakers. What the fuck?
Oh no, he actually wore sneakers. No.
I've ruined that
that's
scene
funny.
for you forever. Forever, dude. It's never gonna
I
go
don't-
away.
I don't mind stuff like that. Like my friend is also one of those people that he notices every single discrepancy in movies, and I've had to tell him, when we watch movies, you shut the hell up. I don't care.
You shut your
that
face.
there's discrepancies or things that's wrong or continuity errors. I'm just enjoying the show, bro. Like, I don't care.
It's like
There is a new movie, though, that I'm super excited for. My brother sent me the trailer of it. Chris Pratt plays in it, and it's sort of set in the future. Oh, what's it called? I think it's called Mercy is the movie's name. It's set in the future, and in the future, they built this giant AI judge system where the police catches you, puts you on a chair that is literally a murder chair. Like, the chair can kill you. And then the AI gives you 90 minutes to prove your innocence.
so guilty until
The AI
proven
tells
innocent.
Yeah, the AI tells you what the percentage is of you being guilty, like what's the percentage chance of you being guilty, and you have to get that below the 75% threshold to avoid death. So
Damn.
you have to argue your way out of it. You have access to everything. So it gives you access to all of the cameras throughout the entire city, all information that the government collects, you have access to. And you need to sit there and go through it. And Chris Pratt is the officer that built the system or helped build the system. And he's now on trial for murdering his wife. And he has 90 minutes to figure out who actually killed her. And it's
this
like,
is Minority
that looks
Report.
insane.
This is just Minority Report.
Kind of, but not quite. Because Minority Report is the whole, they can see what you're going to do before you do it. In this one, the AI can't see that you're going to do it, right? It's more the AI just determines your guilt based on the evidence.
It feels very, very inspired by it for sure. But yeah, I'm sure that.
But here's the crazy thing: there are actually people who have argued for this. I believe there's a World Economic Forum paper where they argued that we need a sort of AI merged with justice. Because AI would not be biased. AI would fully just operate on the facts.
We know that AI is biased if it is based on its own survival.
Yeah, there's been
tested.
Yeah. Not only that, but AI is only as good as the people that code it. And moreover, AI is just as good as the information that you feed it. We have a story literally here today that we're going to be arguing about the data and how the data is expressed. So before we go any further and before we talk about any more of
let me
this
get Patrick. Patrick, Get in here.
Get him in here. Let's go. It's polling time, ladies and gentlemen. And we asked you 4 days ago, have Sony reached max villain status? I promise this is the last time we'll do a max villain status for a while. But I had to get all of them in there.
Might as well.
What's very interesting in this one is 228 of you voted.
Only 228?
said
not as many people were interested in this one. That sucks.
No. But 13% said yes, 60% said no, 20% said depends, and 7% said show results. And I found that super interesting because a lot of the comments actually make a very good point. They say that Sony has done some scumbag stuff, but in their opinion, it doesn't reach anywhere near the level of Microsoft or Nintendo.
Yet.
Also true, right?
It hasn't reached the level of Microsoft and Nintendo yet.
Yeah. I think we have a problem. I was literally 2 days ago, I was walking on the beach with my brother, and we were having this conversation, right? We all know that there is something very, very wrong in this world, where you have CEOs that's getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars that have workers that can barely make ends meet, right? We all understand that this is wrong. What the hell is going on here? Yeah. Now, everyone has different ways of trying to fix that, right? Because it all boils down to greed. It's the same problem we have with our gaming producers, the gaming studios, and including the hardware manufacturers like Sony, Xbox, and Nintendo. It's greed. It's a level of greed that is almost self-defeating, because this level of greed can only ever end with people just running out of cash to give you.
Yeah.
At some point, they just don't have the money anymore. You've milked them sufficiently for everything they've got. And of course, the CEOs are paid hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's not milk them sufficiently. That's milk them for everything they got. Now we have to put them in debt. That's the next step.
Yeah.
Gaming is going to, and they're going to talk to banks to be able to set up credit so that people can waste more money.
Dude, they won't do it. They won't do it through banks. This is where you sort of get to another phenomena that has started. Well, no. This is a phenomenon that started in the US. It's here in South Africa now as well. I'm sure you have this in Europe too. You can go to Amazon, or in South Africa, we can go to
and
Take a Lot
and have a layaway.
We can buy groceries, right? And then they call it something pay later or something. It's a button that you press, right? Or pay flex, it's called. Yeah, pay flex. Because it's technically not credit. Because they're just paying the bill on your behalf, and then you have like 6 months to pay it back.
But there's interest.
Insane interest rates. Because it's not credit. They're not giving you credit. They're just paying it on your behalf.
So it's
and then you have to pay them back.
It's exactly what I said. They're loan sharks.
Pretty much, right? But legal loan sharks. And the issue is, this is probably going to come to gaming. They're going to start rolling out games at such exorbitant prices where they go, hey, but don't worry, you can just pay flex your way out of this, right? Just buy the game now and pay for it later. And I cannot stress enough what a silly idea that is. Like, you should never be buying stuff that depreciates in value on credit. That is a stupid thing to do. So please don't do that.
Like, for instance, if you look at a lot of times, people like getting like those latest sports cars. A lot of them depreciate in value. Tons of them depreciate in value, if not all of them. Because I'm not super into the cars business, but it's such a terrible. People are like, oh, but it's an investment. It's like, no, motherfucker, that ain't no investment. That's just like, that's losing value the second you buy it. Like 99% of cars are losing value the second you buy it. That ain't no investment.
I mean, the thing with a car. And what makes it sort of interesting, because I've had the same conversation with my brother as well, there is a world in which a car is an investment, but only insofar as the car enables you to do other economically active activities, right? So if, for example, you buy a pickup truck, that can be an investment because maybe
If you're
you have a
hauling
plumbing
goods.
business or
if you're hauling stuff
So
around.
yeah, but if you're just buying a normal SUV, that's not an investment. Like that 100% is just a liability that is going to lose you money over time.
What if I'm buying a Ferrari, baby?
No, that is a terrible investment. No one should be buying Ferraris ever. But the point I'm trying to get to is we all agree that this is messed up. Now you have different worldviews trying to solve it, right? You have the left that wants to impose communism and socialism. Government needs to tell these individuals to get stuffed and take their money. And then you have people like myself, who is a capitalist, and on the right, who think to myself, wait, like, I don't want these people to have as much money as they have, but I also don't want the government to have it because they just waste it. Anyway, so why the hell would I trust the government with this money?
You want to know something interesting about the government? This just happened to me yesterday. Yeah. I had to go to this. I had to go to this thing where I was representing somebody else in this process because they were selling a house and they were not going to be in the location at the time. So they're like, oh, okay, I'm going to give you like a turn. I don't know how to say it in English, but it's like you basically are empowered to sign on this person's behalf.
Yeah, right of attorney.
Yeah, something like that. So I had to go there to sign on their behalf, and I go there.
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole process involved like, okay, we have to do these things. And one part of the process was the people that were buying the house, while we were there, they had to pay taxes on the house, right? And apparently one of the taxes they had to pay was going to be 1,800 euros.
Okay.
And this person makes a mistake. She adds a 0 to it.
Ooh. Wait, that's a very expensive house now.
No. Not the house. The tax that they're paying on the house, which they needed to pay 1,800 euro.
Yeah, but that's still an expensive house now. It's 18,000 euros all of a sudden on top of what you're already paying for the bloody house, which is already probably very expensive. But the interesting
thing is, like, the way that it works in Portugal with our banking system and stuff, we have this thing called multibanco. And so what it does is, like, it'll give you, like, a reference and all of that, and you pay the thing. And usually for most things, like say you buy something at a store, right? Online or whatever, you get like the reference and you pay it. And let's say, for instance, I'm buying something that costs 100 euros, but I make a mistake and I put 150 on there. Yeah. It won't process the payment. It'll be like, something's wrong. It will stop you from paying more than what the thing is worth. But when you're paying taxes to the government,
they don't stop
nothing stops that. So it's like,
No.
You're like, supposed to pay 1,800 and you paid 18,000? This is good news.
Yeah, we appreciate the charity.
They took the money. They don't give a fuck. They're just like, we don't give a fuck. Now go speak to finance and sort it the fuck out.
No, that is sad.
And if you don't protest, it doesn't fucking matter. They'll just like, well, guess we got like 16,200 more euros than we should have. Oopsie daisies.
Yeah, well, what a windfall for us.
I was like blown away. I was like, wait, that thing processed? It just accepted a payment of 18,000? They're like, this is fine. I was like, oh, okay. That's fucked up.
Dude, I'm telling you now, I don't trust the government, and that's why I can never be behind a system that wants to tell the government or give the government the power to control the billionaires, because it control or influence is never a one-way street. And just as the government is trying to control the billionaires will be controlling the government. That's what we have now. Yep. Right? So we all have these things, but for me, there needs to be a renewed focus on ethics. And I mean genuine ethics, where you can get these rich a-holes to realize that, hey, this is not sustainable. The idea that I'm going to be making hundreds of millions of dollars and my workers are going to be on benefits, that's insane. That is insane. And it's almost like we
Careful,
need
Accolonn, you're
shaming.
Speaking like a socialist. Careful.
No, because I don't want the government to fix it. I think there should be public shame. that's involved in this, right?
Bro, like
they should be
give a
shamed
fuck.
into submission.
They don't give a fuck.
They will if people actually started voting with their wallets. The problem is that most people want to complain and demand that the government fix it whilst still buying at Amazon. And it's like, okay, wait a second. If you truly cared about this, you should stop supporting Amazon until this changes, right? Because the government's just going to screw it up. Like, guaranteed the government is going to screw it up. I don't know much about the government, but I know one thing. Every single time the government tries to do something, they screw it up.
Yep.
Always, without fail.
Yep.
So the idea that I'm going to tell them to police the billionaires, that's insane. Because guaranteed, the billionaires will police the government far sooner than what the government will be policing the billionaires. So yeah, it's the problem that we have in the gaming industry. I think it's not as big as some of the other companies, because obviously the gaming industry doesn't determine our food prices and the quality of our food or the quality of anything else, or the housing prices and stuff like that. But it's the same problem. You have all of these companies and all of these studios that are just so greedy, just so mind-bogglingly greedy. They don't care. For them, it's just a thing of, hey, if I can get $500 per month out of a player, I will. And I don't care what the long-term repercussions are, because I'm not going to be here in 20 years. I'm going to make my hundreds of millions of dollars now, and then I'm going to leave. And it'll be the next guy's
I love the way
problem.
you said, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
You're going to leave in a fucking box.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they don't. They leave the company in tatters on the brink of bankruptcy, and then they go, oh, but here's your parting bonus of another 150 million severance bonus for your hard work. And it's like, this guy destroyed this company. Why are you giving him a bonus for his time spent destroying the company?
Yep.
Well, it's gotta happen. Like Bobby Kotick, he walked away with a lot of zeros, right? For doing the absolute best to destroy DICE, Activision, and Blizzard, and King under his command. And it's just like, okay, this is bullshit. But hey, it is what it is. Sony is probably going to go the same way, because once that sort of corruption starts to set in, it becomes practice. It becomes the norm. Speaking of which, something that's become a regular fixture on the show, but that's been true since pretty much episode 1. Hasan. What's he done now?
So a lot of people, the whole incident with his dog has been dubbed Collargate. And there's people pulling up clips from all over the place, because he's got a ton of clips where basically saying that I don't give a fuck about the dog. He locked the dog in a cage with some other animal, and he said he didn't give a fuck if the dog was bit or whatever. So there's just a lot of stuff happening there. But I just wanted to bring up one of the more interesting things, because when Hasan keeps saying it's not a shock collar, it's not a shock collar, not a shock collar. Cutie Cinderella apparently went to his place, and she's like, oh yeah, it was a shock collar, but the prongs were taped.
Oh, so it is a shock collar.
I was like, wait, what? And somehow you think saying this is a good thing? Like, what are we talking about?
But it doesn't matter, right? Because the people that support Hasan,
they don't give a fuck.
They don't actually care, right? They only care about animal lives when it suits their political purpose, and when it doesn't, so when their favorite disciple of left-wing hellscapes says anything, they're like, well, he could slaughter a dog in front of me, and I will demand that you acknowledge that he didn't just do that. I will defend this man to the hill.
Makes sense to me.
Because that's just how it goes. And to be fair, it's not just the left. There are some on the right that does the same thing, but it is predominantly on the right. You'll oftentimes see people really getting cancelled by other people on the right for doing stupid crap, whereas on the left, it's sort of like this weird cult that just breaks out, and you can't say anything mean about Hasan, literally anything. You can't go after Pokimane, because if you say anything about Pokimane, her rabidous fan base just comes after you, because how dare you say anything about this ugly queen that we have.
Jesus.
There's like...
What is it with you and calling every woman under the sun ugly lately, dude? What the fuck?
No. In this case, I'm not talking about her physical appearance. I mean ugly as in she is a nasty person.
Okay.
Like, truly nasty.
I can kind of support
that.
No,
I wasn't talking about... No, physically, she's actually quite attractive. So no, I don't... It's more a case of she's one of the nastiest people on the planet. Right?
I absolutely agree. Yeah, like the whole thing that people see on Twitch out of her is absolutely a facade. I still remember the way that she went after people with the copyright thing, and then she would, you know what? That actually worked. The whole shaming thing, it actually worked there. They shamed her. They shamed her ass into not doing that shit. That was hilarious.
Yeah. But I mean, so yeah, from my perspective, it's just insane, right? Hasan absolutely shocked his dog. There is no doubt in my mind that is exactly what happened.
Yeah, at this point,
the fact that he comes 24 hours later and shows a collar and goes, see, not a shock collar.
And then it is a shock collar. It just has the prongs taped.
Yeah.
Actually, I would imagine he taped the prongs after the drama.
Let me put it this way. Why would you buy a shock collar if you're going to tape the prongs? It sort of defeats the purpose of the shock collar in the first place.
No, I think that
just then buy a normal collar.
The whole point was to get the dog to stay in the bed so that he's more relatable, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. I think that was the
and he shocked the living crap out of that dog to ensure that dog stays right there.
He's that bitch.
Look, Hasan is... Yeah, but Hasan is a bad person. He's just a really, really bad person. And anyone who can't see that, if you can't see that, if you're listening to me now and you're getting angry because how dare I say that about your favorite little disciple, you have a problem. You are in a cult and you don't even realize it. How many more times must this man break the law, openly call for violence against people with absolute disregard, be a scumbag for you to realize that, hey, maybe he's just not a good guy. And then to make matters worse, he's this communist king that lives like a king. He doesn't even live what he preaches. You guys are morons. But anyways, I could spend an entire podcast talking about
it's not. It was just to talk about the fact that it is a shock collar. It was.
Yes. 100%.
In case anybody was wondering about that, he absolutely shocked that bitch. Yeah. Okay, he shocked her into submission repeatedly so that she would stay in that specific spot in that tiny ass bed where he has.
Because he's a psychopath.
Yes,
because he's a psychopath. He couldn't care less about that dog.
Like, listen. Let me tell you what would be the equivalent. It would be this. Watch. Give me a second. Okay. Give me a second.
Okay.
Ella.
No, watch his dog not actually come. Oh, there she is.
See, she came to me because she likes me. And I called her over and she just came. And if I put her down here, she will stay here, but I don't want her to. I want her to go do whatever she wants. So I'm going to put her on the ground and then she's free to do whatever she wants because she's not a fucking prop.
Yeah, which is exactly what a dog should be. A living being, not a prop. Which,
I'm sorry, what?
No, I just said that's exactly what a dog should be, a living being, not a prop.
Yeah.
You know, but Hasan, what's life? Life just exists. All humans just exist to make Hasan happy, including all animals and everything else. So, if you're a fan of Hasan at this point, there is no saving you. Like, you have already accepted one of the most evil people on the internet as a good enough person for you to be like, which only leads to me thinking you're just as bad. That's the only reason you can't, because most people only spot evil by sort of relating it to themselves. Is this person good or evil? Well, how would I deal with something like this? And if this person would do something that you would absolutely never do, you go, well, that's very evil. or if this person is doing things that's just so good that you can't even think that you would do it, you go, oh, that's a pretty good person. The only reason someone can look at Hasan and still enjoy his content is genuinely because they are just as evil. Like, from their perspective, Hasan is just the most normal person in the world, which, I should really go check out all of those people that watch Hasan. But
Jesus.
But anyways, let's talk a little bit about the Discord leak update. So this is just an update. We covered this last week. Discord had a massive leak of, I don't know how many millions of accounts that got leaked. But among the leaks, and this is from Rod Breslow, Slasher, on X. Among all of the leaked information that they found from Discord was the following. Accounts we should not interact with. This is official Discord policy, where Discord says, if any of these accounts are tagged in a post or tag Discord in a post, agents should quietly close the ticket without further response. And you have Streamlabs, USA Army Esports, TeamSpeak, Cork IRL, Slasher, Keemstar, Call Me Carson YouTube, Quackity, Dr. Disrespect, No Text to Speech. So they were just blacklisted on Discord from Discord side. They would not respond to any of their posts. They would not look at their posts. It's just an interesting... there's more on the list, but, this is the names that he shared. I think because his name is in that list, in that mix as well.
So those...
And
wait,
you sort of...
my brain spaced out. Those people are not... They don't get to post? What was that? Sorry?
No. If someone, for example, mentioned these names, so someone, for example, tagged Discord, but then also tagged, say, Slasher, Discord should just close the ticket and never look at it again. If these people
ticket
tagged, if these people tagged Discord should delete the ticket and never look at it again. Whether it's a support ticket, whether it's no matter what it is. If these people on this list,
that's harsh.
Asked anything of Discord should just delete it and move on, which is interesting considering you're a platform. You're not supposed to be. I don't know why you're playing favorites. That makes no sense. But anyways, that's the update. For those of you that maybe have people you follow here that you like, there you go. Okay, so let's get into a bit of... this is a quick story. It's not really that big of a deal, but it is something that... So those of you that aren't familiar with Kotaku in action...
That's
Kotaku in action...
Is that a subreddit? Yeah? Or it's a subreddit, right?
Yeah, it's a subreddit.
They mostly criticize Kotaku, right?
Well, they mostly criticize the woke, right? So it's not just Kotaku. It started against Kotaku, highlighting the lies and the misreporting from Kotaku, but it has become a sort of rallying place for the anti-woke. Now, Kotaku in action is actually pretty good. Their mods are really spot on. Like, the mods of Kotaku in action are really good. The post I'm giving you guys today, this guy posted this originally about a week ago, and the mods removed the post, citing lack of evidence. Because according to this guy, he has been approached by a journalist from a well-known media outlet, shall we say, asking a lot of questions about Kotaku in action. And from the questions that he sort of alludes to in his post, but he does also provide evidence for people who might want to know. From the questions, it became clear the media is desperate to find someone to blame for the meltdown of the media industry, because mainstream media is dying. They need someone to blame for this, and they want to go after, in this blaming process, they want to find ways of closing down certain subreddits. And if you actually start thinking about the lawsuit of Ethan Klein against the Three Musketeers on the internet, right? Or we should probably say Hasan's Three Musketeers. It actually revealed that Reddit the mods of Reddit were working behind the scenes with Hasan and Hasan's Three Musketeers in order to bring down Ethan Klein's videos. Like the mods working for Reddit, official Reddit employee mods, was doing this. So quite clearly, there's some very awkward stuff happening within Reddit, and the journalists are absolutely desperate to find someone to blame for what's happening in their industry. Because journalists are getting fired left, right, and center. The last time we heard, there were less than 40 actual journalists left in the mainstream media for gaming. And of that, I believe there's 8 that has been fired since. So it's like 32 now that's actually left. So, yeah, quite clearly, mainstream media isn't doing too well, and they're looking for someone to blame. And it seems like the anti-woke, which I don't dispute, because it is technically our fault that they are dying, right? Because we've become the media that they couldn't be, because they tried to pretend like they were neutral. Instead, they weren't. And I just sort of feel, if you were just honest from the beginning, and you said from the beginning, look, I'm a left-winger, I only care about left-wing stuff, and so everything I cover is going to be with a left-wing bias, I would not be angry at that. I would legitimately be like, well, that's fair. You're being honest about your bias. I'm biased. That's why I'm always honest. I'm a right-wing, conservative, anti-woke YouTuber. That's who I am. I don't pretend to be neutral. I don't want to be neutral. This is who I am. I'm going to interpret everything that I read through that lens of bias. But I'm also cognizant of my bias, right? So I know when I'm reading something that I have a tendency to want to be biased towards certain things and want to reject other things. So I try to sort of, spot that bias. But yeah, that's sort of the story. They're desperately trying to nuke anti-woke subreddits and effectively spin this whole thing as like a Gamergate 2 thing.
The way that I look at
wouldn't be.
It's like censorship is never a good thing. Let people say whatever they want to say unless they are clearly inciting violence. And even then, I don't know how that is affected by freedom of speech or not. But if you're inciting violence, at the very least, you should be banned from, most places like Twitter, Reddit. Again, but this is clear incitations of violence, which is interesting because often I do see people inciting violence and nothing really happens,
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, it's look. Free speech is always going to be a tough topic, right? Because since time immemorial, I couldn't even say that because free speech really only started with the Americas, but even the American founding fathers were having incredible debates about what should or should not be
what constitutes free speech.
Yeah, because everyone agrees that there might be some speech that is somewhat challenging. But I feel like in this regard, free speech should be absolutely free for everyone from a government perspective. But as we spoke last week, I think cancel culture might not be a bad thing. If someone is saying something absolutely insane, you should have the right to cancel them, right? Because we've done that all throughout history. If you were in a village and you said insane stuff, you'd be chased out of the village. I think the problem that we had in the past was that it was incredibly lopsided. All of the social media platforms would only ever go after the right and never go after the left. Whereas it should be more a case of you go after everyone equally and you allow people to do it for themselves, right? So the media.
I'm still not a fan of cancel culture. I think that it's like, listen, you say some fucked up shit, I think the authorities should get involved, and that should be the cancel culture, not like this whole thing about like, oh, we need to boycott this person, because usually what ends up happening is everybody is twisting and turning narratives, and I believe almost nothing of what I read online nowadays without verifying it tenfold. And oftentimes I'll read something and I'll just be like, okay, do I want to invest the mental energy to verify whether or not this information is actually correct. And a lot of the times, it's like, no, it's just not worth the effort. I don't care. Like, so I
think that's fair.
I end up being less informed than I've ever been nowadays because, quite simply, I don't have the mental energy to go and verify every single piece of information. It's just annoying.
I think that's fair, and I would definitely share your opinion if both sides were playing that game, but both sides aren't playing that game. And so the idea that we're going to continuously sit here and say, hey, cancel culture isn't good, we shouldn't be canceling each other, when you have the entirety of the left, that is all they do. If you say something that they don't agree with, they will absolutely go after your family members, they'll go after your... I mean, you have the lists of people that's been doxxed, people that had their bosses contacted, people that had their bosses harassed to the point where they almost got fired, or if they didn't, they actually did get fired. So the argument there becomes, okay, are you going to continuously take the high road? While these guys continue to destroy you, or are you going to fight fire with fire?
Here's the issue that I have when you say stuff like that, and the issue that I have is that I don't think it's fair to generalize, because the very same way that there are unhinged people on the left, there's unhinged people on the right as well. It's just that simple. And the thing is, you can't just generalize and say, no, the entirety of the left loves cancel culture and they love to fuck us in the ass and do all of these bad things. And it's like, no, it's like there are some people that are bad actors on both sides, I would imagine. And again, I don't get too involved with this stuff, but I don't believe that it's like, no, this side is clearly the worst. This side is... No, I think that there's bad actors on both sides. And then you can pick and choose what the lesser evil is, kind of.
I will never argue that there aren't bad actors on the right as well. Humans have tremendous capacity for bad, whether they're...
But you will argue that there's more on the people that you don't agree with than the people that you agree with.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But more even like more than that, right? For a long time now, the power has rested with those on the left. Even if there were the same amount of bad guys on the right as there are on the left, YouTube didn't listen to people on the right. Twitter didn't listen to people on the right, right? Facebook didn't listen to people on the right. So if you were on the right and you were complaining about something that someone on the left said, nothing would happen. However, if you were on the left complaining about someone on the right said, you'd get canceled immediately.
I do have to concede that point from my personal experience of navigating YouTube. Yes, I've seen that happen more often than not.
Yeah. So even if it is an equal amount, the power rested with one over the other. Nowadays, the power is sort of a lot more neutral. A lot of the social media sites have gotten out of the ideological board game that they were playing. And I think this is where we are in a more decent spot now. Because now it generally does become a thing of, let's boycott this person for the things that they said, which is an absolute right. You have the right to boycott someone that you don't like. And then its success is determined by your ability to convince enough people to actually boycott them, right? But the social media platforms should absolutely stay neutral. YouTube shouldn't suddenly start banning left-wingers. As much as I hate Hasan, I don't want YouTube to suddenly ban Hasan's YouTube channel, right? I want people to shame the viewers of Hasan so much that they stop watching Hasan and his channel just dies naturally. And failing that, Hasan should continue to do what he does, right? But it should be, we shouldn't be scared of shaming people for, being morons, at least in my opinion. Let's go into this. This is going to be a fun
one. Let me close the door before we do this one. Oh, my.
Oh, wow.
It's mostly because I think my wife is sleeping, and I had the door open just in case the dog wanted to leave, because I don't want to lock my dog in here with me in case she doesn't want to be here. And she didn't. She left.
And it's also because we're about to talk about women in video games, and Rurikhan
we don't
really
need a bitch in the room to talk about women in games. For those of you that don't know, bitch is actually what you call a female dog.
Yeah,
because I know that a lot of people
your wife a dog.
No, the dog was here. What do you mean? You saw it on camera, bro. What the fuck?
Is the dog a bitch?
I mean, yes, it's a female dog.
All right. Okay, just checking.
The fuck is it supposed to mean?
Guys, clip whatever you need to clip. Just have fun with it.
Oh my god.
No, I know what you meant, bro. I'm just joking. But okay, there's a new ESA that has launched. It's a report that shows that 48% of video game players are women. Now, the byline gives a little bit more information. 2025 Global Power of Play report also found that mobile is the preferred device for women and players overall. So a couple of things that's really bad about
moms
that would
playing
be
Candy Crush.
Yeah. I would say that. So they have here. Okay, so this is what they say. While mobile is the runaway preferred device for women, 64% play on mobile. Nearly half of men play games on mobile devices, and it's their most used device as well. So the gap isn't as wide as people would suspect. There is a problem with that, and that is that from subsequent studies that's been done around this, a lot of women play mobile exclusively. Almost no men play mobile exclusively. So what they find is that the majority of men will also play mobile games, but then they will also have like a console or a PC or whatever, right? But mobile is just one of their gaming devices that they will use. Whereas for a lot of women,
I don't know if I agree
mobile
with that. Is that in the ESA study?
This is not the ESA study. This is a different study. The study that I'm talking about now is from Newzoo. Mink Tao, however the hell you pronounce her name. She's the journalist that actually wrote it. And you have, for example, in this study, this was from 2023. Out of the total online population, 72% of women play video games. That figure is 81% for men. Out of the total cohort that says they play video games, 45% are women and 55% are men. Half of women players are also payers. Among players, 36% of women consider themselves a gamer, while 31% of women say that other people call them a gamer. Women and men who play games consider diversity in games important. Nearly half, 44% of female players play only on mobile platforms. Exclusive mobile gaming is more popular among women than men. And then there was another study. This was like last year. Another study that showed that it's very difficult to actually determine how many men play mobile video games, because unlike with women, where there's a dedicated sort of mobile audience, men is more floating. So there's no dedicated male mobile audience. It's sort of like men might play mobile, but then they might also for months not play mobile. So it's very difficult to nail down just exactly how many men play on mobile because they don't play exclusively, whereas women tend to play more exclusively. The rest of the study is also super interesting. I went through it in a video, as I said, a number of years ago, but like a number of months ago. But the rest of the study is really cool, where it sort of talks about how women tend to be reticent to refer to themselves as gamers. They don't like the term gamer, whereas men have no problem calling themselves gamers.
That used to be the way that men used to be, like, I don't know, maybe 2 decades ago or something like that. You wouldn't want to, well, maybe not 2 decades, maybe more, maybe like 3 decades. Fuck, I'm old, bro. But I don't know. But basically, like, in the olden days, you didn't necessarily want to tell people that you were a gamer because you were instantly branded as a nerd. Now, me, I didn't give a fuck. I was like, yep, I'm a gamer. I like playing video games, bro. I play video games on my computer. I don't give a fuck. So it is what it is. But yeah, this is something that men used to do as well. Men used to be like, no, I'm not a game. I don't play the video games. What do you mean? I'm not a nerd. I'm not a nerd. I'm not a geek. Well, what the hell is this conversation?
Nowadays, it's a cool thing to be.
Nowadays it's more popular, which one might argue is a big problem of the industry, is just how popular video games are.
Yeah. Mobile is the preferred device for players overall at 55% of all players playing mobile, while 21% of those surveyed prefer playing on PC or laptop, as well as console and handheld. So I don't know where like this breakdown doesn't make exactly a lot of sense, because if 21% makes up all the other ways in which you can play games, then where's the rest? Like, did we just lose like a massive chunk? Like, what 24%?
They're not gamers?
No, but this is just looking at gamers, right? They have 55% play mobile preferred, but then 21% prefer to play PC, laptop, as well as console and handheld. It's like, that does not,
we're missing
55% plus 21% does not go to 100%. We're
missing 25% more, which maybe those.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say people that play arcades, maybe, like, but no. What about tabletop
arcade
games?
Board games, maybe tabletop, maybe.
Dude, if it's tabletop, that would be impressive. 25% playing tabletop. Hell yeah!
I wouldn't be surprised actually, because
dude.
tabletop is much bigger than people think, because it's so incredibly diverse. Like, there are games for literally everyone in tabletop. Yeah. I started playing a few weeks ago. We started playing a game called Scythe.
Dude, why don't you play Kill Team like campaign. I told you, idiot?
I don't have the right armies yet, and no one else wants to buy armies to play me, so I'm sort of stuck at the moment. But Scythe is good, dude. Scythe is insane. And we have this is how cool it is, right? So we're playing with one of our pastors at church. We're good friends, so we go to his house. And it's now become like a weekly thing, where every week we go to his house to play Scythe. And we're going again on Saturday, burger night, and then Scythe. And then the church has young adults next Friday. It's like for all the young adults in the church come together. It's game night for them. And my pastor comes up to me and he's like, "So do I see you next Friday?" I'm like, "Next Friday? What's happening next Friday? You'll see me on Sunday." Like, what do you mean? And he's like, no. Next Friday, it's young adults game night. I'm like, well, I'm not a young adult anymore. And he's like, yeah, but it's game night, though. And I was like, cool, I'll be there.
Didn't it hurt a little bit when you said I'm not a young adult anymore? I kind of feel like that hurts.
Nah, not really. Not really.
You've accepted it, huh?
I mean, the young adults in our church are young. They're like 20. So it's not too bad. I'm still youngish, I think. 40 is youngish, guys, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. The cope.
That's like middle age. That's still young. Like, I'm not even middle age yet. I'm like 50 is middle age, I think. 50 is old.
Wait, you're 40? Do you dye your beard? Like, how the fuck do you have a beard that looks like that? Like, look at this. It's like all white. I'm like fucking Santa Claus over here.
There's gray coming out now. Like, literally this year, there's like a little bit of gray that started to come out.
This is why your lighting is so on low, so that your beard can remain dark. I see. That's a good strategy.
Dude, no, that has nothing to do with it.
I'll do this. Look at how much darker my beard is now, brother. Look at that shit.
Dude, I'll turn it up. I'll turn it up. But no, the beard, there's like a little bit, I don't even know if people can see it, but there is a tiny smidgen of gray that's starting to come out every...
God, you're old as dirt. I can see a little bit of white, like right about here. Like here, I see it on you. Right here, I can see it.
Yeah, but that's not white. That is, so right here, I have this streak of golden hair that has been there since like 20. Yeah, literally, it's like a golden blonde that comes out right
that's
there.
A good way to say it. It's like, this is silver. It's no
silver and gold. Silver, bronze, and gold. You know? Like, that's all it is. It's just a nice color scheme, you know? But okay, so
continuing.
The problem with this entire survey, and they sort of do the same thing that the New Zoo survey did and a number of other surveys, and I have on Obsidian, I have like 8 or 9 different surveys. They all make the exact same mistake. All of them highlight that we're so close to the 50-50 split. Women and men make up 50-50. But that's just not true. Because as soon as you exclude mobile, and I feel like it's a legitimate request that mobile be removed from gaming polls. And the reason for it is the games that is developed for PC console isn't the same games that's developed for mobile, and vice versa. There are some games that go cross-platform, but most mobile games you don't play on PC or console, and most console and PC games you don't play on mobile. So the argument that these two, in this regard, I would say these two platforms, your actual gaming platform and the pretend gaming platform, the argument that these two can be viewed as the same thing is nonsense. Because if you're a game developer making a video game, right, and you look at statistics, the marketing department looks at the statistics, and the marketing department comes to you and says, hey, you need to represent women because women are 50% of the gaming audience. And you're a developer working for one of these heartless, soulless AAA studios that just wants to make blockbusters. They don't care about passion or anything like that. You go, oh, so 50% of all our characters should be women because there's 50% women in the gaming space. It's like, no, asshole, you're making a game for PC and console. It's not 50% of all the players that's women. It's from the studies that I've seen, and this caused a little bit of debate even before we started the podcast. From the studies that I've seen, the estimates are something as low as 5%, and some of them have it as high as 15% that might be women, right?
The 5% one, I absolutely disagree with. I don't think that the percentage of women in gaming, and I'm talking about you cut away like the mobile stuff.
Yeah, cozy games.
The thing is, I don't know how we're going to cut away cozy games because there's a lot of guys that like cozy games as well. So I don't know.
Yeah, but this new Zoo study, for example, highlights it pretty well when it looks at the breakdown of men who play cozy games versus women who do. For men, it's a tiny minority of men that actually like playing cozy games.
How
For women,
tiny is
it's
this minority?
more than 60%.
If you've seen the study, how tiny is the minority?
It's really small. It's like 22% or something to that effect of men that actually prefer. Now, this is what we call, the study didn't go at, do you also play cozy games? It looked at, what do you play exclusively? Right? So if you're a man and you play video games, what type of games do you play exclusively?
I think
so. You don't play a selection of games.
I think that there's a lot of guys that are scared to admit they play cozy games.
Probably, right? That's probably true. But I think there's also the argument to be made that
games with the big burly boys.
No. I think you're absolutely correct there. And this is just purely anecdotal. But from my anecdotal experience, I meet a lot more women who will for
play
example,
cozy games than guys. Yeah, absolutely. More women play cozy games than guys.
Yeah, and will almost exclusively just play that. So they'll have like Sims, and they just play Sims. That's all they play. They've played it for over a decade. That's all they play. With men, it's rarer. I'm not saying it's not, like I've never heard of a guy that has just played this one game forever and ever, but it's rare that I'll meet a guy that goes, I only play this game.
There was a ton of us that were only playing World of Warcraft back in the day. Now, not as much because fucked that shit.
WoW, I would say, but this is sort of my argument for always why WoW was so successful. Because WoW wasn't a game that turned gamers into WoW players. WoW was a game that turned non-gamers into WoW gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a WoW gamer for the longest time, and so were you. So yeah, we're familiar with this.
You know, but yeah, the thing for me is I was a gamer that just happened to also like World of Warcraft.
So your argument is that a lot of women exclusively play cozy games, and
it's about 60%.
But
about 60% of females will exclusively play the cozy games. Now, there's nothing wrong with cozy games because I happen to like cozy games as well. I'm a huge fan of cozy games, right? So I don't mind the cozy games. But again, it sort of goes to what is the purpose of these polls? It's information, right? It's information that studios can use in order to make their games.
But I would argue that studios aren't reaching the conclusion. They're like, oh yeah, we need to do the 50% thing because there's 50% of women playing Battlefield, for instance, as an example, because it's going to be a game that we're going to be talking about in a minute. So I don't think that studios are going like that. I think that they are aware that there's probably the split on a shooter game, I would imagine, is closer. And again, kind of like pulling numbers based on something. I just had Grok do like a very quick thing, since Grok supposedly is the least progressive AI or whatever. I don't know. Elon Musk constantly says that Grok's purpose is to find the truth or whatever. But so I brought up Grok because it would be more neutral than bringing maybe Chat GPT or something like that, which usually tend to be a little bit more progressive in their viewpoints. But the thing here that Grok is saying is that potentially, even if you exclude like mobile and cozy games, you're looking at something like 35 to 38%, which I think closer to that 30% range is more the split that I would put it at. And increasing, because I feel like more and more women are finding it more socially acceptable to say that, no, I am a gamer. And it should be, by the way. It absolutely should be. Everybody that wants to be a gamer, you can be a gamer, whatever. But I think we're closer to a 70-30 split than like a 5% split, like what you were talking about at the beginning of the podcast. That would be what
I would say.
In games like,
I would challenge
I'm talking about like action games, like Souls games, Monster Hunter, fucking maybe even Battlefield. Because I know that there's probably a ton of women that play Battlefield better than I fucking do, because I suck at Battlefield. So
yeah, I would say the following: do the eye test. We played WoW. You play Monster Hunter. Any one of the viewers right now, if you play online games, do the eye test. How often do you meet guys in your games, and how often do you meet girls in your games? I will stake my life on it that you meet probably 20 guys for every girl that you meet in a game. I will stake my life on that. In the vast majority of games, you will go guy, maybe girl. Guy. Look at WoW guilds.
I would say
this is the funniest thing.
2 to 3 girls per 10 guys nowadays. Because the thing is, WoW guilds, gotta remember, WoW guilds, we're talking like shit from fucking 10 years ago or something like that. Easily. So we're talking stuff like a decade ago, and things have changed. Nowadays I would say there's an all-female guild per 10 guys.
There's a famous all-female guild that tried to compete for World First that just disbanded. Why? Not enough goals. They couldn't find enough goals for one guild. One guild. There's thousands of male guilds on the World First ladders, right? On the top 1,000 guilds in the world. Thousands of them.
They're not male guilds.
This one guild. They're guilds. Yeah, but it's guilds dominated by males, right?
But they're not male guilds. They're guilds.
Yeah, but they're dominated by men. This one guild that wanted to be all female couldn't even fill a roster.
See, but
and people want to tell me, but it's closer to like 50-50. Maybe, right?
The issue,
maybe it is
Accolonn.
70-30. But it is also possible that most women don't want to competitively raid.
That's what I was going to bring. Like,
if I steelman your argument,
might not want the competitive raid.
That's perfectly fine, right? And if we steelman your argument on that, that's great, right? I think the logic test does not logically pan out for me at a 70-30 split.
So you think it's less than 70-30? You think it's actually 5%? You think it's as low as 5%?
No. I think in some games it could be as low as 5%.
I mean, yeah, of course. But
I think
if you go to cozy games, you'll find games where it's completely the opposite, where it's like
100%.
70-80% women and 20% men, if that. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you, right? I think it's going to be difficult to make an overall sort of percentage.
But
I think the range will be 5% to, and maybe I'll even include your 30%. Maybe you do have some non-cozy games that might have a 70-30 split. The point is, it's not close to 50-50. And it hasn't.
No, I don't think. Because I don't think it's close to 50-50 if you exclude mobile. It absolutely isn't close to 50-50.
Yeah,
I completely disagree with that. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, the new Zoo study that was done in 2023 and this new study now in 2025, the numbers remain unchanged. So the gaming industry that have constantly been telling us that we need more representation so that more women start playing video games, and if we get more female badasses in video games, more women will start playing video games, and we go, well, you've pushed every woman into every game you could possibly do, and the numbers remain unchanged. And I can go back to a study that I saw in 2018, and the numbers are unchanged.
A lot of those games aren't doing a particularly good job of appealing to the female audience.
Yeah, but what's funny is the games that were made for boys appealed for the female audience just fine, so much so that they actually became gamers, right? Because I don't think most women want to play a badass lesbian in space. I think what they want to play is either a good-looking hunk of a man that she can think about marrying, or, she wants to play a sexy female character that she would like to become.
I don't think you have to say what they want to play. I think just give them choices. Let them play the sexy character. Let them play the non-sexy character. Let them play whatever the fuck character they want.
Women,
just give them choices.
What is this, 2025? Excuse me, sir.
Holy shit.
We will decide what's best for them. We're just figuring this out.
Yes, two guys in a podcast. We need to figure out what's best for women in gaming. This is why I say I'm just like, just let them play as female characters if they want. Boom, done. Easy money. Like, I don't understand what the big deal is.
I think the biggest issue is that most modern day games and game studios don't do a good job of writing these characters. Because you always see this problem, right? With Ghost of Yotei, people said, what's the problem? Are you so insecure in your masculinity that you don't want to play a female character? And it's like, no. I'm so secure in my masculinity that I will not pretend that a badly written lesbian is a good character.
I don't understand why she's a lesbian. Like, you keep throwing this out. I don't know if she's a lesbian.
According to, I think it was Polygon, according to Polygon's review, that was one of the most heart-touching moments for them in the game, was that Ansu is a raging lesbian. Or that she has lesbian energy with another female character.
Doesn't that qualify as spoilers? Like, what the fuck?
Dude, I'm just telling you what I've read. I don't play the game. But the point is, there is a way to write a good female character. And that is to keep in mind that men and women are not the same, in spite of what some mentally ill people want to pretend. Men and women are not the same. If you're going to write a woman as if she is a woman. Don't try and write a man that just happens to have breasts. Because it's never going to translate. The female audience is going to play that crap. The male audience is going to play that crap because it's unnatural. It doesn't feel natural. And that's the biggest issue. You see, for example, with Witcher 4. What is one of the first things that CD Projekt Red said to us about Witcher 4?
I don't know.
We will be exploring the difficulties and realities of being a woman in the Witcher 4 universe. And they say, oh, for the love of grievance politics once again. I have to sit there and listen to how Ciri, born in a castle, being a very powerful elder witch, had struggles sitting on the bus. It's like, no, bitch, no one cares. This is a fantasy world. I don't need to be preached to about women rights or women suffering in a fantasy world.
I just want to point
every opportunity is a teaching opportunity. Yeah?
This is the issue, by the way, of some of these games that have came and they don't do a proper job of representing female characters, is that then people will be very much like Accolonn is right now, poised to not accept female stories because they already expect it to be shit. You don't even know what the story of Witcher 4 is, but your experience...
I know it's going to deal with her experiences.
No, but what I'm saying is your experience with previous titles is that it is going to be bad and is going to be political and is going... Because a lot of games have made it bad and political. So it's just like... People just need to write good stories. That's it. They just need to write good stories, and then people will accept all of this stuff in gaming. But if you just write shit stories, people don't accept it. The same way that, by the way, shit stories with male characters exist as well, and nobody likes those.
Of course. Games. Yeah, of course, 100%. In fact, we just spoke about me watching the Alien movies. The first one, actually, the second Alien movie was a challenge for me because there's one dude in that movie. Like the girls, like the main female character, don't know her name, but Ripley, she's amazing. She's like absolutely fantastic. The little girl, Newt, is a little boring and bad acting.
It's a little girl.
There's one.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
She's boring.
Her acting's really bad.
Bro, you are judging everything from a political lens, bro. Aliens was awesome. Like, what the fuck?
No. Aliens was a great movie, but Ripley, the main female character, fantastic performance. The little girl, not that great. The female soldier, at times a little over the top, but bearable. She actually became better as the movie went on. Yeah, but awesome. she became better. She became better over time.
What was her name?
And then
Sanchez? Was it Sanchez?
I can't even remember, dude. But then there's the one male dude, he's a fairly
all over the place.
Yeah, that guy, dude. He annoyed the living crap out of me. Like, I just want to meet the guy that wrote his lines. Yeah, like he says things that you just go, really? That's how you would react in this situation? Come on.
Because he's a coward, bro. What the fuck do you mean? He's supposed to act like that because you have Hicks to balance it out.
Yeah, but he annoyed me because it's bad acting with bad voice lines. He's not a bad actor.
What do you mean bad acting? It's not bad acting. That's the character they wanted him to play.
No,
you just don't like the character.
It's way too over the top.
I mean, in the 80s, everything was over the top. There wasn't that much subtle acting.
He could have played it. Yeah, he could have played it better. That's all I'm saying. Right? So for me, I'm in agreement with you. If you want to do female characters, do them right. Go look at what Tomb Raider did with the first 3 Tomb Raider games, right? That was fantastic. That's how you do a female character. Not the stupid lesbian from Ghost of Yotei that pretends everyone now needs to pretend is good. Bro.
You just don't like lesbians.
I don't like badly written video games. I couldn't give 2 craps about whether or not you want to be lesbian. But if you're gonna write a character that is so, and the problem is, I don't want to be preached to. I don't care if you think all men are misogynists. That's your opinion. Keep quiet about it. I don't care if you think that all white people are racist. That's your opinion. Keep quiet about it. I don't care.
The only person that preached to you, and this is why she probably shouldn't have done it, was the voice actress. That's the only person who preached from between in this whole thing. Because, like, I haven't seen the story preach to me anything about. Then again, I'm still at the beginning of the game, so I don't know enough. But like anything,
keep going. It'll probably start.
No, I don't think it will. But the thing is, I just don't feel like playing open world right now. So yeah.
No, but I think not every game is gonna be guilty of the same stuff, but almost all of them are guilty of bad writing, unbelievable writing, or writing to the point where they make the most unlikable characters on planet Earth, and you think to yourself, "Have you ever met people? Like, do you know what people like?" That's insane.
That is a consequence of trying to appeal to the largest possible demographic, which a lot of these games coming out have to appeal to the largest possible demographic. And that's actually something that I wanted to bring up that I forgot to point out, which is gaming is quite simply not as popular as it used to be when it comes to social media algorithms. And this is going to be something that this is why we're seeing a lot of shifts in the gaming industry, I feel, is quite simply the popularity of games is going down. And a lot of these companies, they needed the popularity of games to go up. So this is also why on YouTube we are seeing over and over the viewership on gaming in general has been going down, because I have been noticing other creators that are way more popular than me, because I see some of their stuff and I see their views. They've been going like on a downward trend. And this is one of the issues that we're going to have to deal with. But I think that things are actually going to get better for gamers because we, with the lowering popularity of video games, a lot of the investors are going to leave the industry. So we are probably going to go back, and this is like me going big brain prediction time. We're probably going to go back to a time where you and I have been talking about that, like AA has absolutely been killing it, and AA is going to continue to be dominant. We are going to go back to a time where there are going to be less games, but the games that do exist are going to be far better than the deluge of games that we're getting with just like so much slop in between. I think that particularly AAA is going to suffer more and more because they're trying to appeal to the largest possible audience, but due to the fact that games are dwindling in popularity, and I don't say dwindling as in like, oh my God, everything is over, but like it is definitely going on a downward trend, the popularity of video games, particularly in social media. And because of that, you're not going to have as many people joining up that are going to be the people that are curious about a video game, right? Because like right now, and I would say like for the last 5 years, you have a ton of people that people like to use the term tourist, but there have been a lot of tourists coming into video games because they're like, oh, all my friends are talking about this thing. Let me jump in and check it out. All my friends are talking about this new hotness game. Let me jump in and check it out. And that's going to happen less and less. And the profits in the industry are also going to be less and less because it's just not popular. Like if you go to YouTube right now, very few things are being pushed that are traditional gaming. And if you want to see gaming content that is reaching like trending status and actually hitting the millions of views, a lot of time it's going to be like some Roblox bullshit or some Minecraft mod or some other thing that like the Zoomers are going at it a million speed per second, whatever. Traditional gaming, like a lot of these big blockbuster games, they're not even close to being at the top of the food chain on YouTube anymore. Like not even, when I say not even close, you guys just don't understand like the level of viewership between one of these shit games from Roblox and like a Battlefield 6. These things aren't even in the same fucking league right now. And this is going to be something that I think in the long term is going to be really good for gaming actually leaving the spotlight. It's going to be really good because you're going to have a lot of developers actually being able to do the games they want to do. But that also means a lot of developers, especially those at AAA companies, are going to be losing their jobs because these companies are so out of touch that they expect ridiculous profits, and it's not going to happen anymore unless there's like some type of paradigm shift that I'm not seeing. But it's just quite simply not going to happen anymore because of the level of popularity in gaming in general.
Yeah, I can see that. But anyways, that's sort of it for women in gaming. Just wanted to highlight the report, and the problem with these statistics and these polls that come out is a lot of game companies rely on these reports to inform decisions. So if the reports are unfinished or not really asking the right questions, these companies are just going to end up with really bad data. And I think if you're going to make the argument that it's a 50-50 split, that's bad data because people are going to make decisions based on that might not necessarily be that great. Then we have on the list here, we have Xbox hardware. So what's that about?
Xbox there's apparently been rumors that a lot of retailers are removing Xbox hardware from store shelves, which, to be honest, like, I don't know how it is in Africa. Like, you can tell me, like, do you go into like a store, like electronic store that has video games? Like, how big is your Xbox shelf, right? How big is it? The one that has like the Xbox, it's tiny. If you compare it to like the PlayStation one is going to be way bigger. The Nintendo one is going to be way bigger as well. This has been the case for us, at least in Portugal, and I think that overall in Europe. Like, you'll go to like a big retailer over here, like in Portugal, we have Vorten, Fnac, and all of these other retailers. You go in there, and like the Xbox section will be like this tiny slit, this tiny green slit. They'll have like a couple of Xbox games in there and like maybe a controller and one or two consoles at the bottom. That's it. That's been like the Xbox hardware presence in Portugal pretty much everywhere. And then you go to the PlayStation one, and it's like a proper stand with like a ton of shit in there and accessories and stuff. The Nintendo one is usually a little bit smaller than the PlayStation one. So the PlayStation one is usually the biggest one. And then you have the Nintendo one. It's a little bit smaller, but still bigger than the Xbox one. That's usually the way that the split goes when it comes to Portugal. But what people are reporting is that stuff like Walmart and Target, they're just removing it entirely. Like there's no Xbox section. And Destin, who is someone that reports on gaming news and stuff, he actually called these stores and they said, no, we're not removing the stuff. And Microsoft is telling people, no, we're not giving up on the Xbox hardware business. No. Which, of course, they would say, no, we're not giving up on this. It's just haven't you heard? Everything is an Xbox. Everything. Your toaster's an Xbox if you try hard enough. So it's just like, we don't know whether or not they're actually removing these things from stores, but people are reporting that it is happening. And it does make sense that Xbox would leave the hardware business because it's not interesting to them. Like, they want Game Pass. That's all they really want. And they can sell you Game Pass on a fucking smart TV nowadays because you can do it with cloud gaming. And depending on which price you're paying for Game Pass, they also get to dictate which resolution you get to have for your cloud gaming, which is why I tweeted out like cloud gaming, more like clown gaming. Got him. But yeah, that's the report. What do you think about Microsoft leaving the hardware business? Because it does feel like that is what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we spoke about this. Was it last week or the week before? Where I'm gonna say the same thing I did last week. I think it makes sense. I don't think that the hardware side of console is going to exist for much longer. Right. So I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft goes all in on the handheld space and the portable PC space and leave console to PlayStation, because I think console will go the way of the dodo bird just because it's going to become obsolete. The more technology evolves and the faster things get, there will come a time where whatever a console can do, a portable PC can do good enough that it just makes more sense. And so yeah, I think Microsoft is just reading the room. They're realizing that they can't really win. Sadly, PlayStation has become almost like a symbol of legitimacy, right? Like if you're a gamer, you're gonna have a PlayStation, not an Xbox. And so Xbox, for Microsoft to fight that battle, they would have to try, and it would be sort of trying to kill Apple. you have to try and convince people that the Apple is bad, whilst also convincing them that your phone is better. And I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, I sort of think yeah. Then you have another topic here, which I didn't even know about because I don't play this game and I couldn't care less. But Battlefield 6 is apparently woke.
Before we get to the woke part, I just wanted to congratulate Battlefield 6 because they've had a phenomenal launch. It is actually something that's been surprising to me. And that is, it's really good that they have that many concurrents, that they've gotten like 747. That's a plane. 747,000.
That's insane.
747,000 concurrent peak on launch was very impressive. But an interesting thing is Monster Hunter Wilds had more concurrents than Battlefield 6.
Whoa.
Monster Hunter Wilds was over 1 million. Was like 1.4, I think.
Wait, this weekend?
No, not this weekend. At launch. I'm talking about at launch.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not surprised. Considering how bad Battlefield 5 was, I think there's a lot of people that were pretty scared of jumping back into the Battlefield universe.
Yeah.
And so I actually think it might grow more. It obviously won't break that record because
Yeah, launch.
There will be
launch
more people
numbers
that
are
leave,
always, yeah, launch number is always launch number. But it's good that there's actually some competition for Call of Duty, which has just been sloppity slop nonstop. Especially with like all the crazy like Hollywood crossovers they keep doing, like, oh yeah, let's go beat somebody up as Snoop Dogg because that makes sense.
Yeah. Why wouldn't we? You know?
Yeah, it's just like whatever. But so it's been very successful. A lot of people have been enjoying Battlefield 6. This isn't really the type of game that I tend to play, so whatever.
No.
But I caught a tweet from Grums where he was like, they got me. They friggin' hit it. All the marketing buried this stuff sneaky. Players are complaining about gender-locked characters and how the audio is full of women screaming during firefights. You are forced into being female for some roles. Now, I don't know anything about whether or not there's gender-locked classes in Battlefield 6 or what the situation is with that, but I just found it interesting that Grums, who worked on Diablo 2, which had gender-locked classes.
Yeah.
To be complaining about gender-locked classes in Battlefield 6. I thought that was funny.
I think from what I can see in the comments, because I also don't play Battlefield, so I don't really know this, but from what I can see in the comments, some people are saying, like Kada, for example, says it's not gender-locked. You spawn as a dude or a woman at random. You can't tell you're even a woman until shot. And if you don't like the woman, shoot them, blow them up, stab them. And that's
a little bit harsh. If you don't like the women, shoot them, blow them up, stab them. What if they're on your team? What the fuck? Oh, you spawned as a female? We need to fix that real quick. I can fix that real quick.
Yeah.
We're just gonna make sure that you spawn as a man.
But from what I can,
bro, you know who used to do this is fucking communist China. Are you having a boy or an abortion? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But you have, for example, Saito here as well saying actually no role is gender locked. You just have to unlock the characters, and some roles starter are female. You can unlock male characters for that role. So yeah, I don't know. I personally have always, so this isn't even a woke versus non-woke issue for me. I will say the female characters look absolutely dog poo, which of course it's a modern day AAA game. Jesus. So why wouldn't they make them look absolutely terrible?
Okay. I need to look at these models. Okay.
But what I would say is I hate the idea of gender locking anything. Like, I don't understand it. Like, why don't you just make things for people to be able to choose what they want to do? Like, just do that. It doesn't matter. People can play whatever they want. I don't understand the gender locking idea. Because it's sort of like you're opening yourself up for a point of criticism for no gain. Right? There's like no gain. What are you gaining from this decision? It didn't make sense in Diablo 2. It doesn't make sense in is it Diablo 4 that also has this? No, Path of Exile has this, right? Where you can't, like, your character is locked to whatever class you're playing.
What do you mean it doesn't make sense? It's double the budget to make the class be male and female.
Yeah. I want to say it's double the budget, but it will probably be also very expensive to do so.
If double the budget, if like for that class, you have a budget for this class, making it male and female, that's double the budget. Well, no, that would be
would depend on...
No, because the abilities will be the same, but it would be double the budget in terms of like animations and
voice acting. Yeah. But still, it's a
budget limitation. It's a budget limitation for some of these studios, I would say.
And I could understand that, right? Again, I just think you're creating an unnecessary pain point that I don't think is required. And I don't particularly have a problem with Path of Exile's way of doing it. It doesn't really bother me because in that game, it's not about the character really. It's just about killing monsters. So it doesn't really matter. I don't even have a problem with it really in Battlefield 6 because, again, it's not really about the character that you're playing. It's about shooting other players in the dick. I just don't understand.
What if the other players don't have a dick, though?
Well, the way these look, they probably have a dick, though.
Jesus! Bro, you're so...
I'm just
I mean,
saying,
look, okay,
bro,
they're female
like,
jarheads, all right? Chill.
yeah, the probably penis there.
No.
So, like, let's be real. No, probably, bro. Like, I'm
You
just
are
saying.
so terrible. Fucking.
I'm just saying, though. You said we have to talk about engines. What's going on?
Oh my god! Before we do, there was something else that I wanted to talk about Battlefield, which is our buddy Vince Zampella. In case you don't know, he's like the guy behind Respawn. He is currently the vice president of EA. Vince Zampella comes out and says, "Call of Duty exists because EA were dicks."
Yeah, I saw that actually. I saw that actually.
He don't give a fuck. Is like the. But yeah, basically he said that the only reason that Call of Duty exists is because of his departure of Electronic Arts or whatever, because he could have done it so much better if only he was around. Bro, that is like one of the most like
wild.
So incredibly arrogant. That's like me saying the only reason Monster Hunter is popular is because of me.
Yeah.
If I didn't make videos on Monster Hunter, that shit wouldn't be popular at all.
Hey, maybe he's
Same
not
thing
wrong.
with Dark Souls. Same thing with I made Dark Souls, bro. It was me.
Hey, Rurikhan, you've had a long and illustrious career on YouTube. So
the level of arrogance, bro, the level of arrogance that you need for that shit is crazy.
I genuinely don't know if I believe him, first and foremost.
Yeah. Man, you need to get some fucking sleep is what you need to do.
I slept
deprived. You're the one over here
slept
fucking
well enough.
yawning.
Yeah, I slept well enough. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. But the thing that I would say that what would make me question his assertion is, if that was true, why is Call of Duty so bad? Like,
I don't know.
I mean, bro, if you were really the brains behind the operation, why is Call of Duty sucking penis? I don't understand. Like, clearly they didn't need you to make a bad game. They did that fine without you, and you seem to be doing a bang-up job at Activision. So yeah, no, I question it. I think it's more just the guy trying to start drama, sort of ramp up drama so people
that
there's a hype for gaming.
I think that you're confusing. He works for EA.
Yeah, but he said EA is dicks.
He said EA was dicks.
Was dicks.
Yes.
But I still think it's drama. Sorry, I thought he was working at Activision, but
no, he's working at EA. He's the guy behind Respawn.
All right.
He's currently the vice president of EA.
Yeah, I forgot you said that. Actually.
Which is why it's so funny that he's like, if EA hadn't been dicks, because like he had like an animosity with EA, and they kind of like broke up in the past, and he's saying that's because he's like, if I was around, Battlefield would be the one. But because I wasn't around, because you motherfuckers weren't like supportive of me. If you guys weren't dicks.
Isn't Call of Duty older than Battlefield?
I have no idea.
Because Call of Duty. Wait, who made Medal of Honor?
Medal of Honor was Electronic Arts.
That was EA. Yeah, so no, technically EA. Battlefield isn't quite Medal of Honor, but it is sort of what Medal of Honor turned into. Right? It went from Medal of Honor into eventually Battlefield. So yeah, okay, EA would be first. Maybe he's not wrong.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
But, I mean,
he's still very, very arrogant for saying that.
Yeah.
Shit, so whatever.
I mean, yeah, sure. Okay.
But,
good on him. I don't know if this game is good because I've seen a lot of technical issues. People are struggling on the technical side of things. But they seem to be having fun, so we'll see how it plays out. So what is this engine story that you want to talk about?
Thing, it's not really a story. It's just I was watching a video from Legacy Kill HD while I was working out before we did the show. And he was talking about the Elder Scrolls 6 and, that fantastic engine that Bethesda uses for everything, the creation engine that is just absolutely phenomenal and fantastic engine. And he was arguing about whether or not they should potentially switch to Unreal 5 and how Oblivion used Unreal 5 to like render, but it was still running Creation Engine underneath and all of that stuff. And I was just thinking to myself, so why do we keep insisting on the Creation Engine? Why is Bethesda always like on this stupid ass Creation Engine that sucks ass? It's been so incredibly outdated for decades, and there's always problems with it. But at the same time, they shouldn't go to Unreal Engine 5 because Unreal Engine 5 is a goddamn shiny turd that people can keep saying like, it's not the developer's fault. And it's like, yes, but all the developers seem to fuck it up somehow. So even if it's not their fault, then clearly your software is not that easy to fucking use, program for, or optimize. Because otherwise, you're either saying that, you know, fucking 90% of the developers that use this engine are dog shit, or you maybe want to admit that, you know, maybe there's something wrong with the engine. I don't know. It's like, if everybody that walks into my house trips on the door except for me, and I'm be like, fucking skill issue. It's like, no, there's probably something wrong with my door. Okay. There's probably like maybe a little bit of a raised step or something on there that people keep fucking tripping on that bitch. Right. So it's just something that's the way that I always look at it. Whenever people start saying, oh, it's the developer's issue. It's the okay. But every developer has this issue. But anyways, let's not get too lost in the whole Unreal Engine 5 thing. The thing to me is, why do we never talk about the obvious? Why the fuck is the Elder Scrolls 6 not an id Tech engine?
What engine?
id Tech. The Doom engine.
I don't know what that is. Oh.
Cause like the Doom engine is usually fine. I don't really see that many performance issues being reported on the Doom engine. Hell, go back to the one from 2016 if you think that there might be issues. Use that one. Like, why can't we just use id Tech on the Elder Scrolls? Why does it have to be Creation or Unreal 5? Why can't it be id Tech? Because Bethesda already owns id. So, like, am I the only one that's looking at this and going like, why? Why not? Why not id? Why does it have to be Unreal Engine 5 or your fucking shit Creation garbage? Like, what are we doing?
I think personally it's the Creation Engine, because I watched the video, this was long ago actually, of a guy explaining that outside of the terrible performance and graphics issues with the Creation Engine is probably one of the most advanced engines in the world when it comes to physics and the ability to basically just do whatever you want, right? Like you have so much freedom in what you can and cannot do, where other engines will have trouble. So, for example, if you were to make a game in Unreal where you can pick up everything and steal everything and put everything in your bag, it would slow down the engine significantly to having to render this stuff as actual interactable objects, whereas the Creation Engine can just do that. But sadly, one of the payoffs for that is loading screens.
And that's another. But see, that's another thing that I want to bring up. Why are loading screens so bad? I mean, I'm the stuff with whatchamacallit, Starfield it does have a ton of them. It should have less.
Yeah.
But we don't really need to head towards a future where it seems like we got to kill all the loading screens, every single one, every last one. There can be no loading screens, like zero. I'm like, that bad. Like the occasional loading screen, it's not the end of the world, especially if it improves our performance. Like loading screens are not that bad. It's just maybe not quite as many as we had in Starfield.
Yeah, I agree with you. Actually, I don't have a problem with loading screens. I do have a problem because what happened in Starfield is it destroyed immersion, right? Because there were just so many loading screens. But I agree with you. Maybe having a loading screen. So, for example, if I go to a lot of the games that I really enjoy, you'd have no loading screen in the open world, but sometimes if you enter a building, there'd be a loading screen for the building. I can accept that. It doesn't break the immersion for me. So yeah, no, I don't have a problem with it. I do know that
in old school Monster Hunter, you had a loading screen between every zone.
Oh, there you go. Well, it wouldn't work in the new one because the new one's whole approach is that it needs to be open so you can run from
No,
one
but you
point
don't.
to the next.
But you don't understand. You're talking about like every map is just like a bunch of arenas where you would fight the monster in different places in that map, and in between those
Yeah.
arenas, there's a loading zone.
Oh wow. Okay, I
So like,
understand.
depending on how well you were doing on any given hunt, you'd get like 10 to 15 loading screens.
Wow. Okay, I
But they were
understand what
fast.
you
They were
mean.
fast, all right? They were pretty fast.
Yeah, but still, they were there. I think. I think for me, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Bethesda is coming up with because we know that they're doing. I don't think they're calling it officially Creation Engine 2, but it is like a massive overhaul of the Creation Engine. Like they're spending an obscene amount of money to make the Creation Engine,
See,
at least as far as they're concerned, the greatest engine ever.
you say they're doing a massive overhaul, and all of the modders are panicking, like, "Oh my god, how many things are we gonna have to fix this time?"
Yeah, probably. That's most likely exactly what's going to happen. A bit of a shorter story. I don't think there's much to be said here. I'm just sort of including it so people know. The boss, and this should not come as a shock to anyone or even sad news, but the boss of AC, Assassin's Creed, he's been with Ubisoft for over 20 years. I don't know his name. I can look at the article, but I don't really care.
The absolute disdain on Accolon's voice. Yeah, this guy who created Assassin's Creed. I could look up his name, but fuck him. Don't care.
Oh, his name is Mark Alexis Cote.
See, Mark Alexis. It's not Cote. It's Kut, right? Isn't it COTE?
Cote.
Okay.
There's a COTE, and the T has a little thingy. Cote.
Not the T, the O. The O has a little thingy.
Oh, the O has a little thingy. Yeah. French, man. I don't know how to spell.
Le français.
But anyway, so this guy, yeah, he left. And no one really knows why. Reading through about 2 articles on this, all they say is that he apparently had some kind of problem with the new spin-off studio from Ubisoft. Like he wasn't in agreement with how Ubisoft wanted to handle the new spin-off studio.
He just had a problem with nepotism. Bro was just like, you know what? I don't like nepotism. Fuck y'all. I'm out.
I wouldn't be surprised because fundamentally he's been with Ubisoft for 2 decades. He's been the vice president executive producer for Assassin's Creed since 2022. And to that, I would say, well, you oversaw Assassin's Creed Shadows, so you're probably not going to be missed.
Damn.
You know, for whatever the hell you were supposed to do. But yeah, so I don't know. The only reason I'm sort of mentioning this is the fact that Vantage Studios, which is the new studio that Ubisoft spun off to basically handle, some of their games.
Vantage.
This might be an interesting start to sort of what might come next, right? So now we could pay attention to Vantage Studios and see what are their next choices, what are their next steps, what could possibly have happened that made this guy very unhappy. Because Ubisoft absolutely offered him the job of being the head of Assassin's Creed at Vantage Studios, and he turned it down. And all they say here is he didn't agree with the direction of Vantage Studios. So yeah, we don't know. That's pretty much it. And then a story that I'm not even entirely sure how good this is, because it is about gooning and about porn games for the most part.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
As you guys know, gaming companies, or specifically spicy video game companies, have faced an uphill battle with Steam and pretty much every other platform removing those games and making it impossible to buy those games because MasterCard and Visa suddenly recognize that they have, some kind of moral compass. And from a moral perspective, they will not allow it. They'll absolutely allow you to go into bankruptcy and destroy your entire life with credit card debt. But a porn game is a step too far for these guys. Both are evil, but just one is punished, I guess. So instead, almost every Japanese game got affected by this. Like because the Japanese tend to, I think, like spicy games. They have a lot of gacha games that's very spicy. Yeah, they got hammered by it. So what happened was a Japanese site called DL Site. Now, DL Site is not a Japanese exclusive site, but in this case, they came up with their own payment method. Now, the payment method is called Mino No Bank Payment, which translates sort of to everybody's bank payment. I guess that's according to this news article. But effectively, they just say Visa and MasterCard can go screw themselves. If people want to buy spicy games on DL Site, they'll be able to use this payment processor.
This sounds like a good idea. It's always good to have options, and this way Visa and MasterCard no longer have as much control as they used to have in Japan, at least. We need more like that in Europe.
The West.
And and just bring more of that over. I completely agree.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And then finally, again, not necessarily a massive story, but effectively Sweet Baby Inc. You all remember Sweet Baby Inc. If you've been a follower of mine for a while, you'll know I've covered them a lot.
I love them. I defend them all the time, too. Probably a lot of people think that.
Sweet Baby Inc. has pretty much since their discovery, this was, I think, 2022, where they went after Cabrutus, or 2023, they went after Cabrutus, and they wanted to cancel him because he started a Sweet Baby Inc. Detected Steam curator group. And then people started to learn the name of Sweet Baby Inc. and people started to ask, what the hell are these guys doing? And soon it started to turn out that every single game that's been destroyed by the AAA industry has the fingerprints of SBI all over it.
Not every single game. Some have managed to do it by themselves.
True, just taking inspiration from SBI. But SBI has maintained since the very discovery of their existence that they are only a consultancy firm. They have no creative control. They cannot tell companies what the story needs to be. Their role is only to be a consultancy firm. Well, in a new interview that Kim Balair, the boss of Sweet Baby Inc., she basically confirmed that they move into a company, they handle most of the writing for the big story points and the big story plots, and then they talk to the developers in the company and remind those developers that they should fight like hell for what they believe in. So they now confirmed what everyone knew, which was that they're an activist group. And their main purpose is to push as much diversity, equity, and inclusion into video games as games can stomach. Or as gamers can stomach, I guess. She also took the opportunity to attack gamers, saying that if you're against progressiveness, you're really fighting against yourself. Which, if progressivism is to be anti-white and I'm white, then me fighting progressivism is actually fighting for myself. So I'm not sure. I don't know. She might have been high when she said that. But yeah, so it turns out Sweet Baby Inc. has been doing what we said they were doing all along.
The way that I look at it is like Sweet Baby Inc. is one of the biggest bad actors in this industry. And it just kind of sucks that so many people don't see it because they've acted in bad faith so many friggin' times that it's just absolutely disgusting that there's still people being like, well, actually, Sweet Baby Inc. is not the problem. Well, maybe it is. At least one thing's for sure, it is not a part of the fucking solution. It just reminds me of back in the day, fucking Feminist Frequency, which was one of the most toxic things that I remember back in the day, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, this is similar to that. So yeah, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of another episode of the Mythic Banter. I think it's 61 episodes today, which is absolutely insane. Massive shout out and thank you to all of you for coming out, watching us, and supporting the channel. If you like what we do, hit the like button. If you dislike it, just hit the dislike button. It's all free, and you can do so at your own recognizance. I think that's the right word. Rurikhan, thank you so much for joining me, for hanging out. Take care of yourself, bro. I hope your mental and everything gets better. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, be good to each other, be kind to each other, and we will see all of you in the next one. Peace.